Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Chris? Got Chris joining me today. Chris, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, Tony. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I know we were having some audio issues there before, so hopefully everything works out okay for us today. But yeah, I'm sure that everybody will let us know if the audio is not good. So I'll just go ahead and get started. And hey, everybody, Tony Camponovo here, product specialist for Line 6. And joining me again is our good friend Chris Payeur, our Canadian product specialist. So we're going to be double teaming it today again. So got our new firmware update that's new to the world. And I know last week, what's up, Jake? Hey, man. Last week we weren't able to cover that, but today I kind of try to make a special effort to touch on the topics of the new 3.6 update, which we are kind of calling it the Grammatico update. So there's a couple of new amps happening, and a few cool things worth talking about. So I'm just gonna talk about what I like and some things that I've kind of come across that I think are cool with the new update, and then I'll let Chris chime in. I'm sure you've probably been tinkering with this new update as well, so I know you've always got some interesting things to add to anything we're talking about. So I'll just get started. Like I said, this is the Grammatico update, and I created a preset that I'm just calling Grammatico or the GSG demo. So, and I have actually put the link to that up there, so you guys can check it out if you dig it. This Grammatico amp that I'm talking about is based on the Grammatico GSG 100 model, and really cool amp that's capable of just all kinds of interesting sounds. So I'll just get right into it. Turn that reverb off first. I've just got a totally dry stock cab or amp set up first in this chain. Really have gotten to where I just want to play with single coil pickups all the time. So I do have my coil tap set to the single coil right now. I'm in the middle position. Doesn't necessarily matter, but I've just become really fond of the sound of single coils lately. It's a pretty dry signal, and when you first load this amp, the EQ is set fairly kind of just straight down the middle for everything, and I'll speak to that a little bit, but let me hop over here to my editor. You guys can see what we're working with here. Now here's the preset that I have created just to demo this amp. So as you can see, I've got the amp block separate, and then the cab block is kind of isolated here because since the latest, since 3.5 came along, we're able to use multiple mics on a cabinet. So what I like to do for demoing this stuff is put two mics on the cabinet, and I leave one as the mic that kind of is the stock mic as soon as you open it up. And in this case, it's the 906 Dynamic, which is a great sounding guitar mic anyway. And as you can see, I've got the link connected here. So yes, there are two cabinets, but when we connect this link, for those of you that didn't already know this, that basically simulates having one cabinet with two mics on it. And I went with the old tried and true 160 ribbon mics. The ribbon mics sound really great on here, so I like to use a couple of different mics so you can get different nuances from the cabinet. So I do have this 160 ribbon, and these are both set up just kind of stock when you open it. And the cabinet is the 1x12 open cast, which is Also a new cab in the latest update. A couple of different cabs set up in this preset just to help demo different things. So I'll A/B the two of them, both on a foot switch for this preset. So if you do want to download this preset, that makes it easy for you to switch back and forth. But the first cabinet, yeah, is this 1x12 open cast. Really nice. I love that sound. I'm going to turn that reverb off again as I go through a few of the settings on this amp that are just really, really fun. So the first one I have set up on the foot switch, I've taken the, see if I can move this so you can see it. There's this OD switch that's on the amp. And basically what that does, it turns the two gain stage tube overdrive circuits on and off. These are located after the tone controls and the drive knobs. So whenever you have that on, it's as if there's like a third and fourth gain stage added to the preamp. I just really love the way it sounds, so I'm just going to turn that on. So here's the add the OD switch, which I have on a switch. I didn't make any changes to that switch when you first turn it on. That's just out of the box. When you add that, you get that nice warm breakup that just kind of chunks up your sound a bit. Go to the neck pickup. We got Nick Bell in the house. What's up, Nick? Thanks for joining us, buddy. So, you know, it's kind of fattening up our tone a bit, but not a, you know, I don't have it set really high. You can definitely turn the drive up more on that. So now I'm just gonna go, I guess I'll turn that one off as I demo each one of these switches on this guy. The next one I'm gonna go to is the FET boost. So our cleans that FET boost on. So again, it kind of just giving us a bit more of a chunky sound, just a little bit of very pleasant break. that FET stands for, and I didn't actually know this myself till recently, is field effect transistor. So that's a boost circuit at the very beginning of the amp circuit. Kind of like putting an FET boost pedal before the amp. So if we add the OD switch along with that, get a nice, just a nice warm fuzzy state. It's hard to play without reverb, am I right? I'm in the neck position once again. Okay, so now I'll turn those guys off, and then let's see. I'll move over to another switch that I have set up on this preset, which is this PAB setting on the amp, and you'll see that this stands for preamp boost, in case you're wondering. Now, what's interesting about the preamp boost is when you turn this on, you essentially bypass the tone controls on the amp. You may be able to hear some very subtle things if you dime any of the EQ parameters one way or the other. But for the most part, it kind of just bypasses them. Boy, that sounds too. Each of these kind of give you a similar type of breakup, just thickens up things. Let's turn all three of them on together and see how this too dark there. I'm gonna go back to the bridge pickup part, but just I don't like it. Maybe with the humbucker we can figure out this. Now we can bring that dynamic hall in and save ourselves. The neck position. There's so many things on this amp you can talk about. Something that I didn't put a foot switch, but that I have engaged right now is this mid switch. So I've had that on the entire time just because I like a mid range thing. We have going now, maybe hard to tell. Let me turn all that off. oddly enough, there's another switch that says Jazz Rock, and I've got the rock setting engaged. I've had that on this whole time, and you go to Jazz, you just lose a little bit of lightly. Like that little chunkier sound or beefier sound. Go to humbucker setting. To rock. And another cool setting on here that I haven't, I didn't assign to a foot switch, but I definitely got to talk about is this bright setting. See if I can pull it up here in the window so you guys can see. So right now, this bright setting is set to 0. There are two other selections on there that just give you more of a brighter sound, and it's very transparent with the single coil, so I'm going to set that to 1. At least on this guitar. I like how that bright setting, when you have it turned on, when I turn back on all the boosts that I had going, I feel like you can hear that good single coil sound. I guess it would probably help if I turned the input gate on. Sorry about that. Quieten things down. To the first position of the bright again, or the number 1 setting. Now, like I said, I've got this set up with two different cabinets on this particular preset, and that's just so I could demo some of the other new cabinets in this update. So I'll go ahead and jump over to the other cabinet in question, and that's going to be the 1x12 open cream. And again, this is one of the new cabs, and I just thought it was cool to mix it up. And again, on this cab, I have a couple different mics. I've got the 906 dynamic again, which is the one you'll get when you pull this up. And then I've got the 121 ribbon, which is like the old faithful ribbon mic. Sounds so good. Cabinet has a bit of a different sound, but I'll just play a little bit so you can kind of hear that. Minor, are you guys tired of hearing E minor? So both speakers are pretty cool. I'll go back to the factory one and go ahead and give you guys a couple more show you a couple more tidbits here. Some more new things in this update. We've got this Dark Dove fuzz pedal, and I'm not normally a big fan of fuzz pedals, just personally, but this one sounds pretty cool. I'll try it first, just on top of the clean amp sound. But it is a very dark sounding, fuzz, so it darkens it up no matter where you're sitting. I'm going to throw in this triple rotary effect here. And just as a side note, this seems to work best if you put it between your amp and your cabinet, the way I have it set here. To me, that just, you hear it, that just is the best setting, so remember that. Put it kind of between your amp and cab. I'm going to turn that on now. That's a model from the Yamaha RA200, and so you've probably heard this on some classics out there. Really nice dimension. You'll notice here I do have the speed setting on slow, and I didn't really tweak it much else other than that. I think that's how it comes. Turn it on. But let's just see what it sounds like with everything, the boost and everything turned on with this dark bell. Pretty cool sound to me. It's just got a great tone with that rotary, that triple rotary added to it. So I know I've been talking a ton here. So Chris, would you like to add anything or interject or just make me shut up?
No, everything's been great so far. I mean, there's a lot of new additions to this firmware update that have been great. If I switch my HX Edit window right here, well, one of the best sounding cabinets, to me at least, was the 1x12 open cream that you've been using. It's a really good addition, and also something that I quite enjoyed are the new Match G25 and 212 Silver Bell cabinets. The Silver Bell was actually present in Pod Go already, so that's a very cool addition to Helix. The new Fuzz is awesome. It's based on the Russian versions of a very famous Fuzz that's more mid-forward than the Pi version, and so it's really appropriate if you play heavier southern kind of music, desert rock, that kind of stuff. So all great additions and cool effects with the rotary, awesome new cabs, and there was someone, AY Bass, who asked questions about using different mic distances on cabs. My answer to that would be that I haven't had any phasing issues with using different distances, although you can scroll at the bottom of your cabinet section and change the delay between the two cabinets, and that's going to simulate phasing. So that is a way to recreate it if you want that effect, but if not, it shouldn't really happen in my experience.
Cool, good question.
Otherwise, that's pretty much it on my time, man. I mean, it's a great addition. All the two new amps sound great. The Elmsley is really awesome as a clean platform. I have a quick preset here with just the amp and the cab and the fuzz that's currently off, but it's a great clean platform. So, well, when I say clean, I always like my clean with a bit of hair, but it can go cleaner than that, and it just takes pedals so well. So. That's it.
Yeah, I can't see it very well, Chris. What mics are you using there?
On that cabinet, the open cream, I've been using the 121 and a 57 at the 45-degree angle. Classic.
I figured that's what you had going. I know you're a fan of that sound, but very cool. Sounds great.
So yeah, so that's one of the presets that I had made, and then I had a quick preset with the Grammatico as well, using the Match G25 cabinet mixed with the 212 Jazz Rivet, which was added in a previous update. So that's always a thing that I try to do, mixing and matching different cabinets to see what gives me the best results. And the amp itself is, again, set fairly clean. Bit less hair than the previous one, and I got the super Odie here. Just to go in the territory that I prefer.
Yeah, that's cool. So have you just played around with the Dark Dove by any chance? Not to put you on the spot, just curious. You know,
well,
if
actually,
you like the heavier sounds.
Sorry. So yeah, it was present on my other preset with the Emsley. So my amp itself was almost clean, but then I had the Dark Dove right here with a ton of sustain. So to add a bit of gain, because it's not that gainy, and the Elmsley itself is not gainy as well. Tone is fairly up, because if you go down, it loses a bit of definition, gains a bit of mids, but loses definition. So tone is fairly up, and level is about 4.5, because I want it to be pretty much at the same level as the amp itself. So I got a very heavy and almost mid-forward tone, which is kind of unique to this fuzz compared to the other equivalents. So yeah, it's a super thick and woolly. So yeah.
Yeah, that's probably better for the sludge metal or doom metal or something. That, to me, that's how the fuzzes, you know, they always sound. Something I was thinking about when you were talking about the Elmsley. I've got a preset set up for that too, but I don't have a lot of effects and anything added. But there's this NFB parameter on the Elmsley, and that stands for negative feedback. And it's pretty crazy. When you have it, let's see if I can remember this correctly. Got it set on there right now. And now I have that set to like just 1 or whatever, you know. But what that does is kind of tweak the brilliance and the presence of the amp sound. Way down to 0, this NFB style. Oh, let me move over here so you guys can see. Sorry about that. What was I saying? So when we turn that all the way down, it also affects the presence of this presence and depth control on the Helix. So when it's all the way down, you essentially kind of turn those off as well. And there's a bit of breakup there. Just so you guys know, if you can't see, that's the 4x12 Blackface 30 cabinet that I have on there. And again, I've got the 906 dynamic along with the 121 ribbon. Like Chris said, you can't really go wrong with a 121, and I'm a big fan of the 57 as well, but I like to keep one of the stock mics set just so you know how that sounds. So yeah, I've got this NFB all the way down to 0. I'll bring it all the way up. You can hear it really starts shaping it. You kind of have to go all the way down or all the way up to get a good idea of how stuff sounds with something like this. Presence and depth are right now both set right in the middle, but just for fun, I'll turn the depth all the way up. Really chunky. Maybe I'll go all the way down. Kind kind of losing a lot of that bottom end. And then presence is sort of the opposite of that. The presence all the way down. Very bright. I mean, that amp will sound really bright when you start playing around with that NFB feature. I'm just going to set it back in the middle at 0. Ever so slow, just so I can drum right. And just for the heck of it, at least personally, I'll go to something like I don't know, the Tima or the Minotaur. Let me turn that input gate on again. That's noisy. I don't know how well this translates over your computer speakers. That's with the Tima. I'll turn that off and I'll just hop over to the other speaker cabinet, which is the 4x12 Greenback 20. This is a new one as well. So I'll just kind of play a bit of that, let you guys hear it. Done a lot of messing around with this amp as far as just changing the EQ and stuff like that. To me, right off the bat, what I would do is probably boost the mids. Drive down a bit. E off. I like that a little better. With the humbucker. So yeah, anyway. And I'll just point out again, like on that the GSG, kind of the same deal I was saying about making it scream with different overdrives, like the Minotaur and the Tima sound really good. I haven't tried it with the Horizon Drive yet, but I'm sure I will because I really like the Horizon Drive. But I kind of use that specifically for if I'm really going for a heavier sound. That's just my opinion. But anyway, yeah. Good stuff. Chris, anything else you wanted to add?
That would be pretty much it on my side. To be honest, I will just invite people to just look over everything that was added with this update, because there's been great additions in the cabinet sections. The two new amps are really, really cool, and I'm really sure that everyone is going to find stuff that they're going to dig.
Yeah, I agree, and that's kind of the cool thing about having you here. I always like to see where another person goes. We've all got like certain things we use right out of the gate when we bring up a new patch. It's like, okay, I'm always gonna prefer this EQ setting or this mic. I kind of have my starting point for things is usually a lot of mids and not much highs and lows, and then I tweak it from there. And I know you're really good about doing the 57 dynamic mic with the 121. which, you know, in real life, that's a great combination. So I always need to make sure I use something different from that just to give a broader range. But also to your point there about just the features of the new update, there are quite a few cabs in this new update. I think we touched on four of them, maybe something like that. But there's quite a few. Sorry, I'm not enough of a bass player to demo bass stuff and make anybody think I know what I'm talking about. So I apologize to the bass players out there. I use some of the bass stuff when I'm recording, but only when nobody's looking, because I don't feel very comfortable playing bass in front of people on a live stream. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. If you haven't already checked this out, you know, go update your helices. And I'll remind you again at the top here, I've got the patch for the Grammatico that I was using. That's uploaded to the custom tone page now, but I have that link right here at the top of the thread. So if anybody was curious about that or wants to mess with it some more so you can hear it in your own room, go check that out. And yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in with us today. Thanks, Chris. Always great to have you here.
Take care.
All right. Bye, everybody.